Well, hello and welcome to Stopbox here live from Resourcing Tomorrow here in London. I'm just stood on the balcony. We've got a little small studio here, on location studio, where we're conducting interviews. We're very lucky actually because it's right after the main speaker area. So that's how we're able to grab some of those really important speakers we've spoken to. For example, the Minister for Mines for Ontario there, and Frank Justra, the well-known gold investor, and there's many other people coming out who we can grab throughout the next 2 days. Exciting news, well, not exciting news, but exciting moments coming up. We've got George Roach. I can see him just behind the camera there, so I'll be talking to him in a few moments. But first of all, we've got, I'm joined by my colleague Alan Green, who is down on the floor at the ECR Minerals stand, where he'll be interviewing CEO Mike Tulloch. So, Alan, over to you. Tell us what you can about ECR.
Thank you, Mark. We're joined live from Mines and Money 2023, Resourcing Tomorrow, with ECR's Nick Tulloch, MD. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Nick, so you're here at Mines and Money this year. How have you found the show so far?
It's been good. We're just over halfway through day one, so 2.5 more days to go. Very busy. I mean, good flow of people right from the start. I think sort of doors opened at 9, and we've not already had a minute to ourselves since. So, nice mix of investors, other companies, of course. We've had drilling contractors. We've had people with strange prospects they want to put to us. So it's been interesting.
Well, it's certainly been a busy few months for you as a company. You of course announced a few days ago that you were planning to go back to drill at Creswick. So presumably some of the drilling contractors you met today will be asking you whether they can have the contract to do that.
It's not gone unnoticed, but you're right. We are returning to Victoria. There's a sort of expression we've used. It's an expression shareholders have used, and I know that's not for everyone. There's been I suppose split opinion amongst the investor base, but we have a good portfolio of assets in Victoria, and it's a postcode that people are showing a lot of interest just now. I mean, Southern Cross is probably the company that's had the most interest announcements, but there's activity right across the state, and I think the right and proper thing for us to do is to properly explore, continue to explore the properties that we have, and you can expect more news on that in the next few weeks.
Excellent. And of course, you've had some real success this year at the Lulworth project up in Queensland as well. Can you just tell us what the progress has been there to date?
Yeah, we're really pleased with Lulworth. So the work in Queensland is coming to an end now that the wet season is starting. So I guess sort of field work will now turn to desktop work. We've got some more results to come out from some soil sampling, so they should be out in due course, just once we get the results back. But what we've seen over the last few weeks and months of the analysis we've done in Lulworth is actually the size of the opportunity is expanding quite considerably. Investors can read back through the announcements and see that actually that steady stream of success across all parts of the prospect has been absolutely terrific. I'd say very much at the top end of what we would have thought would be possible when Mike and I joined the company, well, just about 10 weeks ago, actually.
I was going to say it's been a few weeks ago. It must feel like a lifetime, really, for you. But of course, at Creswick, you're planning to drill there. There's been a lot of drilling activity in the area. Of course, we had that fantastic result from Southern Cross Gold, other contractors, other companies in the area. What are your plans beyond the activity over the next few weeks?
Well, I think sort of first steps first. So let's see how the drilling goes. We've got a few ideas in terms of location. Naturally, we have our own internal expectations. Yeah, it's hard not to be distracted by what's gone on in the neighbourhood. And so there's been a lot of activity and a lot of quite recent success. Our Victorian portfolio has, as I say, it's probably sort of divided opinion. But we know from our historic data in Creswick, there's been big success in that area and the nearby area in the past. Yeah, and I said the right and proper thing to do is to make sure that we fully explore the prospects that we have.
Excellent. And of course, on the funding front, you raised 600,000 nearly from a group of high net worths without having to go to the city. That's a real sign of confidence in ECR as a company, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, and unusual as well. I mean, we did it ourselves. There's no broking fees. We didn't pay big commissions. Can't say it was easy. The paperwork pretty much finished us off as well. But we got it done. It means the company's well funded. And it's important to say actually the drilling we're doing at Creswick, that's covered by our existing resources. We're not about to go out and raise money for the drilling campaign. Yeah, and I've said that a few times to investors. So the plan is fully covered by the current budget. And in terms of what we've done with investors, I've felt that ECR has perhaps just lost contact or just sort of lost some of the investor support over the last few sort of months and years. You can see that in the share price, and I think one of the jobs that Mike and I are looking to do is just to reconnect with that investor community, regular flow of news, explain very clearly what we're trying to do, what we expect to achieve, what we're going to do next, and hopefully that's beginning to resonate, and hopefully that will bring more people back to the ECR story. And those who participated in the fundraising 10 weeks back, they're up a wee bit on their entry price.
Of course. And on that reconnecting with investors, you've also opted to take shares instead of salary, which is a really strong sign. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is something that Mike and I volunteered to do. I mean, we feel very strongly people should be rewarded based on the success they bring, and how better to judge success than on the share price. So the remuneration structure that we proposed back to the company when we joined was that essentially 90% of our remuneration was in shares. And paid quarterly based on the performance of the company and therefore based on the share price. So we're going to stand or fall on our own abilities and our own success on driving the company forward. And that's also been reciprocated by other members of the board. So the other 4 members of the board have entered into 2 salary sacrifice schemes. So all directors through to the end of March are now being remunerated in shares, which hopefully translates into a sort of vote of confidence in the prospective success of ECR.
Absolutely. So Nick, just to summarise, obviously the drill bit's now turning or will be turning at Creswick. Can you just give investors a flavour of what they can expect in the next few months?
Yes, so the next big event is Creswick, and the results of the forthcoming drilling campaign, which, as I say, we are looking to start in the coming weeks. We have a few more results to come out of Lulworth as well, as we go into the wet season in Queensland, so that becomes more sort of desktop rather than field work. We are going to continue to examine the opportunities in our existing portfolio. We'll also be very clear. We will look for new opportunities. We took a license at Pond Pringa up in Queensland again a few weeks back, or probably even a couple of months back. So it's been a long 10 weeks. We'll continue to look for new opportunities, but the main thing is to make sure we get the most out of the assets we've got. And actually, on that, on a small point, we are sellers of a few pieces of underutilised or unutilized equipment, a drilling rig, an excavator, and a piece of land. It's not required by the company. If we can generate a little bit of cash out of that, we will recycle that cash into the prospects we've got and look to really drive the company forward.
That's excellent news. Well, just remains for me to say, have a very successful show. I wish you all the best. And Nick, thank you for joining us today.
Many thanks, Alan.
Back to you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.